is formed when the roof lines of two sections of roof meet. Now, in order for it to be considered a gable, the two roof lines have to intersect. If they don't intersect, they're called a dormer. The house was rumored at one point to have 8 gables, but in reality they have 7 gables and 1 dormer, as indicated by the red arrow as an example of a gable. Susanna Ingersoll lived from 1783 to 1858. She inherited the house from her parents, while also running a farm in Danvers and bringing her product to the markets in Salem. At this particular time, the house didn't have all 7 gables, but she had lived and grew up with the stories of how great the house was when it did. Nathaniel Hawthorne was a well-known American author and wrote novels like The Scarlet Letter and short stories like Mosses from an Old Manse. He lived from 1804 to 1864 and was the second cousin of the House of Seven Gables owner, Susanna Ingersoll. During his frequent visits to the house, she often told him stories of the house when it was in its full glory, the stories she had been told as a child. The novel, The House of Seven Gables, was written by Nathaniel Hawthorne in 1851 and was published that same year. The novel is a romance that includes the cursed Sicyon family, Judge Sicyon, Hepzibah Sicyon, Clifford Sicyon, Phoebe Sicyon, and their housemate Holgrave. Caroline Osgood Emerton lived from 1866 to 1942. She purchased the house with the intention of turning it into a museum to fund her settlement house, and in December of 1999, the Salem Evening News named her the Person of the Century, quoting that she was known for her nice personality and very large hats. Miss Emerton wanted the house to match the novel since she was opening it as a museum. She added in rooms like Hepzibah's scent shop. She also wanted to give the reader explanations as to certain characters like Clifford Sicyon's entrances into certain scenes by building things like the secret staircase. Caroline Emerton brought a few buildings onto the property. In 1911, she purchased the Hooper Hathaway House, and in 1924, purchased the retired Beckett House. She moved both of these historic buildings to the House of Seven Gables property, single-handedly saving 3 historic monuments. In 1907, Caroline Osgood Emerton spearheaded the settlement program with funding from the House of Seven Gables Museum. This funding program is still in place today to support our current English as a Second Language programs, helping immigrants from other countries adjust to American culture and the language. The House of Seven Gables is not only important for inspiring amazing English literature, but in its support for the English language itself.